The second upload for today, the 24th of the 11th, 2019, is on the same topic of spiritual violations that have occurred in Tralee, County Kerry. These spiritual violations involve also bodily integrity violations. Now, as a light worker, as all light workers would know, the energy, the light of their body, the sensations of their body, the energy of their body, do you know? We all know our own bodies, and nobody knows our bodies like ourselves. So basically, since my body has been through a very serious spiritual assault, the issue of bodily integrity violations has been another human right violation that has also occurred, that the culprits have prospered greatly from. The violations of bodily integrity for any victim of assault or abuse isn't always an easy process to come to terms with. What I think is arthritis or fibromyalgia could be a lot more serious after what's been done to my body. I didn't ever give any individual to violate my body. I didn't give anyone in any permission or authorization to ever assault my body the way it's been assaulted since I gave birth, or since 2017. This kind of brings up the topic of spiritual issues with technology and the violations of technology on the spiritual body. And this also brings up the issue of ethical issues and the standards of practice and codes of behaviour, and basically the morals of violating a body, a human's dignity, physical dignity and personal dignity, without consultation or without authorization. The worst aspect of all of this is that the very culprits that have gained have caused the most serious of issues of exploitation. They haven't just decided to violate my body, and they haven't just decided to defame my character and reputation, but they've also damaged my livelihood and my family life. This also brings on the issue of my prosperity that has been severely damaged as well because of the culprits. I have not received amends and I haven't received compensation, but I have experienced a very serious obstruction of justice by the very same culprits that have caused me these problems. Since 2006, as I've mentioned in previous uploads, I've been a truth seeker and a light worker and a member of the fellowship that has worked very hard for other people as well as for myself in recovery and in addiction, those people suffering from addiction as well. So for this to happen since I got married, and the intrusions that I've experienced since I've gotten married and had a child, is unfathomable. That any society, that any guards or government would ever condone. And the thing about it is that this kind of mistreatment and these kind of violations against a woman's body and livelihood and purpose, as a wife and as a mother and as a teacher, as a professional, as a light worker, as a member of the fellowship, to have experienced so many violations of privacy is very serious. Now, I've explained pretty clearly how this has happened, but the bystanders, by factors, by effects of the problem, the root of the problem, are, I could talk for days on end about what those effects are. The standards of how human rights have been treated is at an all-time low. The hypocrisy involved is horrendously high. The effects are unmentionable and unfathomable, and the factors involved are many and varied. So the issues pertaining to what I've been experiencing since I've gotten married, closed chapter of sexual assault and revenge porn, not an issue, but has become an issue again because of the same culprits causing the same kind of problems, without any shame, without any remorse, without any consultation, without any discussion, without any reason, without any justification, without any cause, have caused me immeasurable losses and immeasurable suffering for what they have stolen and for what they have damaged. And that's not just with regard to the loss of my career earnings, that's not just the loss of my fulfillment in day-to-day living and my daily activities. It's not just the loss of opportunities that have been stolen from me. It's not just the loss of my creative work. It's not just there's just been so many losses that they don't seem to comprehend or have any conscience of the damage that they've done. So I'm hoping that what I'm explaining clarifies and establishes exactly what's involved in this situation. Because obviously they don't, they being the culprits and masterminds and scam artists and trendsetters and social influencers, don't seem to understand what they have done, and they don't seem to understand the concept of ill-gotten gains, and the gains from my body and from my suffering and from my purpose and my light body will not serve their greater good because of the serious human rights violations involved, especially with regard to the legalities and the laws of this violation of my purpose and my prosperity and my privacy and my profession. So this is a wide and varied issue that I'm going to speak about on a day-to-day basis. But as a spiritual sentient being that has experienced the most horrendous abuses and assaults in society due to hate crime and imposters and people that have violated my privacy since I've gotten married due to their own opportunistic and auspicious agendas. I think, you know, I could upload for days on end about what's been experienced. So for the mental health professionals that are thinking of intruding any further in my livelihood and my privacy, and that are thinking of making any false claims about my mental health, I hope they understand the mental health issues that have been caused in society because of the wrongdoings and violations. I hope the medical practitioners understand the bodily issues that they have ignored and untreated or not even treated. And I hope the legal professionals understand the obstruction of justice that is occurring. And I hope the spiritual individuals in society understand the very serious assault that has occurred. So these are little synopses of what has occurred. Human rights and hate crime is not pleasant, but this is what has happened. Um, so from Tralee County Kerry, I hope everyone has a better insight to the reality of the damage done